North Central opening up conference play with a big-time win against rival Illinois Weselyan, and they do it with a crushing defense on the Titans' home turf. We check in with the former Neuqua Valley Wildcats turned Cardinals, Ryan Kuhl and Broc Rutter, on this week's Cardinal Corner. And which outstanding player will claim this week's Play of the Game? I'm Kevin Jackman. All that and more is next on the Red Zone.
Presenting sponsor of the Red Zone is Athletico, the preferred provider of physical therapy and athletic training for North Central College.
Cardinals intercepting a big win down in Bloomington by a 34-7 score. Let's check out the highlights from the CCIW opener.
No Jack Warner, so Jack Donegan opening the game at quarterback. First possession. Cardinal defense imposing its will. Tommy Sora with the tackle in the backfield, forcing a 3rd and long. Next play, Donegan, he thinks he has an open receiver, but Jeremy Nicklaus with a diving interception. That's his 3rd of the season. That'll set up a long offensive drive, capped by this Broc Rutter to Alex Ulmer connector, and Ulmer wrestles his way to the goal line. 7-0 NCC. Ulmer, 3 catches, 52 yards in that score. More trouble for Donegan. There's the freshman Leonard, tips the pass up in the air, and Tyler Oakley will come down with it. Another Titan turnover. Now the second quarter. Cardinals take advantage. Dylan Warden on the keeper. Cuts it inside the pylon for 6. NCC with a 17-0 lead. Rutter, play action, and Nolan Brannick is in for the score. Officials ruled that he broke the plane. The big fella with a touchdown. 24-zip NCC at the half. Titans trying to mount a comeback. Brandon Bauer in at quarterback. He tosses a touchdown to Adam Muellers, but as you will see, it all goes downhill from there for Bowers. To the fourth quarter we go. Bauer trying to scramble to his right, trying to find a target downfield, but the only thing he finds is Pat Cravens. 3rd interception of the night for NCC. Next drive, Bowers back to pass, flings it to the near side. Nicklaus misses the INT, but oh my, Kevin Nalefski comes diving out of nowhere for the grab. He'll take it. 4th interception. Later on, Bowers again, short pass to the right, high percentage throw right. No, oh no. Brandon Kibbe with the pick, make it 5 for the Cardinal defense. Hey, you know what? Let's just go ahead and call it 6. Brian Beauchamp with the takeaway. The Cardinals setting a new record for interceptions in a game with 6. Not that the Cardinals really need it, but O'Shane Brown ices the game for good with a touchdown scamper. NCC moves to 3-0 and slides up to number 7 in the latest D3Football.com ranking.
Cardinals getting a tough test in game 1 of the conference schedule, and they rise to the challenge. And now Coach Jeff Thorne joins me on set. And Coach, defense dominated. Really a fantastic job against the Titans.
Yeah, they were flying around. You know, our team speed was on display. Our defensive line. We've talked about how many guys are playing, and it just really makes such a difference because you can keep guys fresh, and they're playing fantastic football right now. It's fun to watch.
The secondary, especially fun to watch. 6 interceptions. They set a new program record for most in a game. It's the main 4, Kibbe, Cravens, Nalefski, and Nicklaus, and those guys are producing at an all-time high.
They are. There's a lot of experience back there, and they understand the system. After this is year 2 of kind of some of the changes we made with how we're playing on defense. And these guys are really doing a great job of ball hawking. And, we talked off camera about 6 interceptions with 0 return yards. It gives you an idea how athletic each one of those plays were. I think 3 or 4 of them were diving interceptions. Yeah, they're really, really playing well. It's fun to watch.
And one of the things you told me was it's not always possible without that pressure up front. You guys have a lot of bodies, and those players are very good at getting into the backfield.
I would take it a step further and say, rather than not always possible, it's never possible. Really to create that kind of havoc without a defensive line that's getting their job done, getting to the quarterback and putting pressure on him, making him move. It all fits together. When the defensive line puts pressure on the quarterback, balls all of a sudden are in places where they don't belong, and your secondary has a chance to really break on the ball.
It's youth along the defensive line. It's veteran experience in the backfield. The linebacker core's got a nice mixture, and it's almost as if they're getting overlooked, at least, maybe by me, but they're flying around everywhere as well.
Oh, yeah. No, those two guys are playing at a high level. They don't have – their tackle numbers aren't quite as high because our defensive linemen are stealing some of their tackles. So it's not a bad thing. It's really fun to look at the tackle chart at the end of the game and see how long it is and how many guys have 4 tackles, 5 tackles, 3, 2. I mean, we're getting contributions from a multitude of players on defense right now.
How good can this defense be? Because we've seen some very good defenses at North Central in years past. This seems like it has the potential to be right up there, if not at the top of maybe one of those lists.
I would say it does. It has a chance to be one of our elite defensive units that we've had in the last 10 years. We've got a ton of speed on defense. And like I said, when you understand what you're doing, you play even faster.
Yeah.
And we've got some experience in the secondary and having the ability to rotate defensive linemen, and it's just so critical because it's a physical game, and those guys their motors have to continue to run as a defensive lineman. So it's been a huge plus for us.
Now let's shift to the offense. Broc Rutter just continues to play basically mistake-free football. Maybe the completion percentage wasn't where he wanted it to be on Saturday, but for the most part, took care of the football and produced some points.
Yeah, we've got some things we need to get squared away there. He got hit way too many times on Saturday. Got sacked 3 times, but he was hit several other times. So I think there was not so much that he was rattled, but he was rushed. And give Wesleyan credit. They did a great job of putting pressure on him with some different blitz packages, and their front four did a nice job of just getting home. So we're playing good football teams. You got to give other coaching staffs credit for putting a really good game plan together, and they did that.
Running backs, the last thing I want to get to before we take a break. We know the potential's there for O'Shane Brown and Austin Brunig. Right now, it just doesn't seem like you're producing in that part of the game as much as the passing offense. What needs to get going there?
Same thing that I referred to back with Brock getting hit too many times. We've just got some things we've got to get squared away up front. We do a better job coaching and putting them in a position to be successful. I think that's rule number 1 in coaching is the athletes you have are the ones you have. You got to put them in a position to succeed. We've not done a good enough job as coaches in doing so. So we got to keep working.
It's going to be fun to see those guys because eventually they're going to be ripping off big gains. We saw Austin last year, 70, 75, 80-yard touchdown runs. We're going to have to take a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll get a chance to see plays unfold like the coaches do. Check the Tape is next on the Red Zone.
Don't worry. The 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play more. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
Welcome back to the Red Zone. Now it's time to get the behind-the-scenes look at what the coaches see on film in this week's Check the Tape.
This Red Zone segment is sponsored by M&M Rentals.
Coach, a pair of defensive plays I want to get to. The first one is DJ Workenthien. This is his sack coming around the edge, but there's multiple elements in this play that led to the eventual sack of the Wesleyan quarterback.
Yeah, Josh Leonhardt coming off the edge, taking out the running back and just coming. He's extremely fast and explosive. Then you've got Emonte and Tyrone pursuing quickly, and DJ's able to clean it up. But again, it's the defensive line's work, and Emonte has been tremendous. We'll get a chance to talk to him. Getting Tyrone Suggs back after a year away from the game has been unbelievable because not just as a player, but what he brings as a person to the program, the energy level, and just the quality of human being that he is has made a huge difference, and he just keeps getting better every week. He's 295 pounds. He's going to be a force.
The skill set on that line, I feel like it varies almost from guy to guy, that you guys could just interchange and have pass rushers off the edge or run stoppers in the middle without losing any quality in the all-around game.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty, again, going back to having multiple guys that you can shuffle in the defensive line. We've got some freshmen in this year's class. It was the highlight of our recruiting class was the defensive line group, and we're really excited about what they're doing right now.
Well, it's showing right now. Offensively, I want to get to This is a 4th and 1 play. You guys went for it, and you're on your own 30, so this is a high-risk play, and you go to the bubble screen to Ulmer, and here's Dylan Warden making a big block.
Well, it was 3rd and 1. I wouldn't have gone for that one there. It was 3rd and 1.
The scoreboard was wrong.
Yeah, it was wrong, the down marker. But anyway, it doesn't diminish the fact that it's a great job out here by Dylan, Ryan Kuhl too. Those guys work extremely hard at our perimeter blocking, and Coach Spencer drills it on a daily basis. It's a lot of technique work, and you got to be sound with your hand placement and your body angles and how you move your feet. And those guys do a terrific job out there.
I thought it was kind of odd that you're going for it on 4th and 1 from your own 30, but I'm not going to doubt you. I thought, hey, you know what? He knows what he's doing. Let's go a little bit later on. This is another defensive play. We had to pick one out of the 6. We could have picked any one of them because they were all phenomenal. Since Kevin's in the house, I figured we'd go with Kevin Nalefski's interception.
I think it's a good choice.
And, again, phenomenal athletic play.
Yeah, Jeremy makes a play on the ball, bounces out of his arms, and Kevin is there. Again, just pursuit to the football. And those guys supporting each other. Great play by Kevin. Great awareness, great athleticism. Kevin, you've heard me talk about him before. He's 160 pounds in the mirror. He thinks he sees 210. He flies around and just runs into people. And I love watching him play. I love how he plays, the mentality he brings to our defense. So it was fun to see him get that interception there. Well,
we'll see them on the field this Saturday. Milligan is the next test for you guys. You've beaten them a few times in a row now, but you never want to rest on your laurels. Right. What kind of test are they going to bring to Benedetti this Saturday? They've got a new coach who I think is doing a really good job. They're doing some different things on both sides of the ball, and they gave us all we could handle last year for 3+ quarters. So we certainly aren't taking them lightly. We never would do that with any opponent. It's 1 week at a time, one opponent at a time, and we really talk, internally about playing to our standard and what we're capable of doing every week, regardless of who we're playing. But we really have great respect for Milliken, the program they've been for so many years, and I think they are improving. So we're working hard to get them ready for Saturday. 3-0. We mentioned it last week. 2-0 was the first time you made it through the non-conference schedule since 2013. Now you're 3-0. You were also 3-0 back in 2013. Right. Are these memories coming back to you a little bit? I remember Saturday's game, and I'm looking forward to this Saturday's game. And we're trying to maintain that approach. I don't want to put too much stock into what could happen. We've talked enough about it in the offseason and what our goals are. We've got to take it 1 week at a time. And once we're done with Saturday's game, we'll look at our bye week and start planning for North Park. Sounds good to me, Coach. Good luck on Saturday against Milligan. Kevin. We look forward to seeing what you guys can do. Okay. Pair of defensive players take a seat on the couch next. We'll be right back on the Red Zone.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
After a stingy performance down at Bloomington, safety Kevin Nalefski and defensive tackle Emonte Logan are here. And Emonte, I want to start with you. Big season for you. You're in the middle of just about everything. Everybody I talked to has been mentioning your name. Yeah. Do you have like a secret stash of Wheaties somewhere that you're finding in the middle of these games? You're finding so much success. What is it?
It's just the excitement that being a defensive lineman brings. Being the catalyst of the defense. We got a lot to do. We got to basically help the whole defensive squad out. So being a catalyst, I just live up to it. And I like the challenge that sometimes I'm going to get doubled or I'm going to have to make a play on a running back that's probably sometimes faster than me. So sometimes? Yeah, sometimes. But, I like the challenge. You and your teammates are rising to it, too. You guys got a lot of firepower on the defensive line. Is it fun to play with those guys? Oh, it's so fun playing. We got me and Egan. Well, Egan and I, he's a vet. We vet, and Tyrone's coming back. One of my closest friends, and he's him missing last year was like, it kind of hurt me because I never wanted to see him like leave the sport. But when he came back, I was helping him a little bit, trying to get him back. But when he finally made the decision, it really opened my eyes what type of guy he was and how our team can really be good because of him coming back. And we got a few freshmen that's contributing, like Lane Brinkman is a big guy, big asset to the team. And we got Andrew Cray, who flipped from DN to D tackle sometimes. So That's big, and we got a guy named Cody Rednick. That's my boy. They sometimes they say he look like me, aka Coco. But
Coco, yeah.
I mean, we got a really good defensive tackle group, and I mean, I look forward to every day. I'm not gonna leave out the DNs. Those guys. I mean, I'm still like challenging Billy or like competing with Billy at like rushing the quarterback or like who's gonna get there first. So, I mean, it's a lot. I look forward every day in practice and games to be out there with the same team.
It's been fun to watch you guys on film. It's been fun to watch you guys as well. The secondary, Kevin, has been just about everywhere. You guys are covering every square inch of that field. 6 interceptions against Illinois Wesleyan. Coming away from that game, you guys had to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it was a load of fun. I mean, playing with Kibbe and Nicholas for about 3 years now, so we're really on the same page. And Patty's coming in with all these veterans who we're all helping him out. So it's been a lot of fun. Being able to coordinate each other so fluidly really helps with. And it also helps when the D-line gets back in about 3 seconds. So, that helps too. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Let's talk about Pat, because we know what you, Nicholas, and Kibbe bring to the table. It's established. But Cravens moves to safety, and it's like he doesn't even skip a beat.
Yeah. He is a freak of nature when it comes to athletics. Like, he can probably play any sport without even learning the rules. So you can just go into it fluidly. He's that kind of an athlete.
Yeah.
He has to learn the safety position, which is a very intellectual position. You got to make checks. You have to make sure everyone else is in the right position, and he's working towards that. It's a hard thing. He's been at it for about 2.5 weeks, so it's amazing he's gotten this far, doing it as well as he is. So I'm confident to see that him going towards further down the season, see more success he's going to have once it gets even more fluid and more rhythmic.
It's scary to think that you guys just had 6 picks and there's room for improvement with that unit. It's pretty scary. Bouncing back to you, Emonte, you and DJ Workenthien are both wrestlers.
Yes.
You're still wrestling, I think, in North Central, aren't you?
Yes.
How much do you guys talk about being on the mat? You know, is it that thing that you guys relate to one another with?
Yes. Every day in practice, I always pick with him. I always like coming up to DJ like, DJ, you know, I would have beat you in high school. There's actually a time in high school where we probably would have like met somewhere down the line in sectionals or something, I believe, or state. But he just missed the butt whooping soon. But every day in practice we usually like talk stuff to each other, and like he always say, Monte, I would have beat you, or he'd hit me with a double leg, and I'm like, DJ, would never happen. So
would you force him to come up to your weight class, or would you drop weight to go down to him?
Oh, I'm not cutting weight. I'm not cutting weight. So if he wanted to accept the challenge to come up to my weight class, okay, but I don't cutting weight, not my thing.
You guys are fun. You guys are a fun unit, aren't you? Last thing I wanted to get to before the quick hits. You guys are 3-0. The defense has been huge in those 3 wins. How much does that mean for you guys being a perfect 3-0 to this point, Kev?
It's a lot. I mean, last season we had a lot of tough opponents in the very beginning, and we fought well, but we didn't fight well enough to come away with those victories. To have similar difficulty opponents who are ranked in NAIA and coming out with the first conference play against Illinois Weselyan, one of our rivals, those are some tough opponents, and it's us doing so well against that. I think it really sets us up for the future, and it gives us a lot of confidence rolling into Milliken coming up this week.
I can imagine. That's going to be a lot of fun to see what you guys can do against Milliken. Before we finish this, I want to ask you guys a couple of fun questions. So you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. All right, we'll start with Emonte here. If you could play any one position on offense, what would it be?
It would definitely be running back.
Running back.
Glory days in high school, freshman year. I had a little fullback action, 4 touchdowns.
That's a boy.
60 yards. I'm not going back. I'm closing the yearbook, but I remember those days.
We might have to get you in a fullback at some point.
You know what? I've been trying. But I've been trying to do something with that. But I know coaches, they'll see one day.
Kev, go-to team in Madden?
I'm going to have to say Minnesota Vikings just because I'm an avid Minnesota Vikings fan. I'm sorry. But
do the injuries carry over into Madden?
Because if they do, I'm not winning any football games. All I'm saying is Adrian Peterson in that game is still ridiculous. So, you know what? It's good.
Emonte, pregame meal. What's your go-to pregame
Definitely
meal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast
yeah.
Crunch.
Yeah.
So we got you as Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and Justin Sturzman likes the late night cinnamon. The Pop Tarts.
Oh yeah.
He goes with the cinnamon Pop Tarts.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You can't go wrong with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You got to drink the milk after too. Oh my God.
There you go.
It's
Keeps you big and strong.
Right there.
Definitely good.
We'll get you both for this one. Kev, we'll start with you. Spirit animal.
Ooh. I would probably say Wolverine, because like Coach has been saying, I look small, or I look small. I don't play small. You think I could play college football this small? No, you gotta play with a big heart. And
Yeah.
Wolverines tear it up, man.
Monte?
It would have to be a lion. I believe, I know it's so stereotypical, but the lion is the beast, and
Hey, you're playing that way.
Yeah,
this
King
year.
of the beast, man.
yeah. So I just feel like inside of me, especially on game day, that I can actually control a beast inside or something like that. So I don't want to sound like what's his name? Seattle.
Marshawn.
Marshawn. I don't want to sound like Marshawn, but I think I got inside of me some type of beast that I just hit a switch, and I feel like it's contagious sometimes. So
Hey, that whole unit is playing like a beast right now.
if I can really let that be known to everybody else, then it'll be everybody else to pick up on this.
As Jeremy Nicholas said, you struck fear into the eyes of the center against one of the first two opponents. Good luck this Saturday, guys. Good luck against Milliken, and it should be a fun game.
Thanks.
Yes, it will.
We're going to take a break. Broc Rutter and Ryan Kuhl are featured as part of this week's Cardinal Corner, which is on its way next. We'll be right back on the Red Zone.
This Red Zone segment is sponsored by Belgio's Catering.
Leaving high school, having a guy like Ryan, thinking you'll never play with him again, it's a hard time. You just know how good of a player he was, and you just think you're never going to have him again. And then to get him back and be able to connect with him so early it's very nice. It's a good feeling, and I think we're clicking right now.
Former Indiana State quarterback Broc Rutter transferred to North Central. Eagerly awaiting him, former Neuqua Valley High School teammate Ryan Kuhl.
I told him about the offense, I showed him a couple plays, and I told him to contact Coach Jeff to see what it would have to be to transfer over to North Central and how his credits would transfer. So he started figuring that all out and started talking to Coach Jeff, and once he talked to Coach Jeff, it was kind of sealed the deal right there.
He was one of the first guys I got in contact with, obviously, when I started coming here. Having known him for a while and played with him, and I just wanted to see what it was like around here, what it was like to be a Cardinal, and everything I heard from him was positive about the coaches, the players, facilities, just everything about it. And right when I heard it from him and DJ, I went in and I was talking to Coach, and I just knew right away it was the right fit.
I think going to Indiana State was kind of a learning experience for him, and he got better. He trained for that to play a D1 school, and now he's here and he's got all the attributes that we need for a quarterback. So it was like nothing ever changed.
Rutter and Kuhl have already connected 10 times, including for 2 touchdowns, as the Cardinals have started 3-0. And all that success makes for a proud high school coach.
They're both tremendous athletes, and I love the fact that they've been able to excel and play at the next level and continue to excel and continue their career at North Central College, which is awesome. But I'm especially proud of the way that their character bled through our school through and through. I mean, Broc and Ryan, they were at every game. School spirit-wise, those are two kids that it was very hard to replace when they left.
For Rutter, some of those Wildcat memories still stand out 3 years later.
I just remember when I was a sophomore watching on the sidelines in the Neuqua Valley game here at North Central. It was 4th and 10 or so, and it was when they were both top 10. And Ryan had like a 45-yard touchdown to end up winning the game. So I think that's probably what I remember most about Ryan.
For now, the duo is making new memories, this time in red, white, and black. It's time for this week's Play the Game. So many to choose from, but let's go with the interception that started it all. Jeremy Nicklaus' diving pick near midfield. The senior now has 3 on the season, as the Cardinals have already racked up 9 as a team. As for Nicklaus' celebrations, well, those could use a little work.
It's time for our weekly sit-down with North Central Sports Information Director Clark Tusher. And Clark, I want to come out of the chute with women's triathlon. This is a team that looked pretty good the opening event. They looked really good in Iowa.
Yeah, a little bit more of a chance to focus on just the competition. You have the opener out of the way, the inaugural event, it's a national qualifier, all those kinds of things. And now you just get to focus on racing. And, all 5 of the young ladies that they took out to Iowa had a chance to get through the whole race and finish. And they all, competitively finished pretty well.
Nikki Banis in particular, her and Grace Miller finished atop the top 5 female finishers in the entire field. And this wasn't just a collegiate race. These were different age brackets that were running in this race. Jenny Garrison must have been pretty impressed with their effort.
Well, she kind of figured that those 2 would be the top competitors this year. They've got the most experience coming in triathlon specifically. Now they've got a few weeks there to prepare for a trip to the national championships in New Orleans in November. I'm sure they're pretty excited about that, but a lot of work to do between now and then.
I'm sure they were pretty happy to not have to coordinate the whole race, but just get to run it for a change.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Yeah, it's a lot of extra details when you're hosting the event yourself.
Now I want to get to women's volleyball. We got a chance to watch them live on NCTV 17 take down Illinois Weselyan in the first set, but then the Titans, the 16th ranked Titans, came back and they won 3 straight. But this is a young team that showed that they have the potential to play right with some of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, the conference is very deep this year. There's 3 of the 9 teams are ranked nationally right now. One of those is not Carthage, who is a perennial national powerhouse. At least for the time being, they're not ranked. Flashes of what they could be as a team, being that young without a whole lot of upper class leadership. There's going to be some inconsistent play at times. So there's going to be some frustration there, but the only way they're going to get better is by playing teams like that, and they're going to get plenty of other opportunities to do so as the season goes on.
Now to men's cross country, Drewville Patel was named the CCIW Runner of the Week, which is interesting because the Cardinals already have a couple of very good runners in Zach Plank and Ethan Edelfinger, so I'm sure that's a nice sign for the coaching staff to see more people emerge for that national title push.
Yeah, a handful of the veterans sat out last week, which is a standard procedure. That's typically what happens, as they go along. It's a long season, and you don't want to wear people out, so you give other guys a chance to step up and run with the leaders and have that responsibility of bringing it in for the team. And Drewville is a guy with a lot of experience. Last year as a freshman, he ran at the national championships in cross country, came close to qualifying outdoors in the 5K. So, certainly a nice pedigree, but a good opportunity for him to step up and be the leader with the other guys on the sidelines.
I feel like a lot of the teams we're talking about have this youthful potential as the kind of key term there, which is a lot of fun to watch because these are long seasons, and potential it can only be reached. One team that is young is the men's tennis team. They only have 2 seniors on the squad, and they just had a very good event where they took down a couple of second place and third place finishes.
That's kind of the barrier they were trying to break into, was that top 3 in the conference, and for the most part, they were able to get into that. They are young, that particular roster, but several of those guys are back from last year.
Yeah.
They had a chance to get a full year of collegiate competition underway, collegiate practice. Definitely a limited schedule for them in the fall, but for them to come out in their debut, really, with only a couple of weeks of practice and be able to put that kind of play together, it really speaks to what they might be capable of in the spring.
Well, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it, and we're looking forward to all the stuff that North Central Sports have to offer, because there's a lot of good winning teams out there this time of year.
The last couple of years across the board have been very good from a recruiting standpoint, and we're starting to see the results of that bear out a little bit.
That's fun. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it, Clark.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have on this edition of the Red Zone. The Cardinal football team hosts Milliken this Saturday at Benedetti Worley Stadium. We'll have the kickoff at 6 p.m. right here on NCTV 17. I'm Kevin Jackman. We'll see you next week on a brand new episode of The Red Zone.